Hello, everyone. Today we started a lecture series on global navigation satellite system, in which we are going to cover from very basics to advanced level. In this lecture, we will be covering a very basic idea about the global navigation satellite system for those who do not aware of this term. And then we will be moving ahead in advanced level to study about the different fusion architectures, GNSS processing techniques, algorithms, models, and some live works as well. So this is going to be a complete video lectures and series about the global navigation satellite system to the advanced level. In this video, I would like to cover a very basic idea that what is the global navigation satellite system and why we need this. Okay, so let's start with the concept that imagine when we do not have a satellite signals, when we do not have a Google Maps, which we are using nowadays, what was the life? Okay, so let's move on and see some pictures here, and then you will realize then what was the life before. Okay, so imagine if you do not using a Google Maps, no satellite signals, what would you do? You would be asking people from one place to another place, how do you navigate yourself? You will be having a long paperwork, paper maps, as well as you can see in the figures here. There were a lot of accidents back early in the 90s when there was no signals, there was no localization, no positioning, timing, and no satellite communication for the public. Same that you have a different kinds of maps, navigations problems in airplanes, asking people the headache to have the long paper of the localization. Life was very tough, very in early days. So let's begin with the question here. What is localization, positioning, navigation, and the timing? These terminologies are the basic ideas when we start about learning localization or the positioning. So localization here is the something that you have to identify your position with respect to the surrounding. For example, if you are in some shopping mall or a store and you find out your exact location with respect to their surroundings, not the general positioning, then it is known as a localization. However, the positioning is something that you need to find out your exact positioning, like the coordinates. That's not the positioning. Okay? Don't mix the concept between the localization and positioning. Localization is your exact location around your surroundings. Okay? And the positioning is your location, your coordinates exactly. Navigation is something, is processed from one place to another place. If you are moving if you are opening your Google Maps and you find out that you have to move from one place to another place, for suppose your friend's house, you navigate yourself according to the Google Maps. The Google Maps guide you and tells you the fastest route step by step. Timing, timing is a critical in the communication satellite system. It is a synchronization process. Timing tells you that which satellite signals are transmitted and received by receiver. So this is the critical concept in the satellite communication system. These terminologies, when we use in the system or in the device that provides these kind of the things, we call it location-based services, LBS. And for this, the Global Navigation Satellite System, which is known as a GNSS, is the main component for the location-based services. Okay, so Global Navigation Satellite Systems is the main component for providing the location-based services-based applications. And what is the location-based services-based applications? Are those applications or those devices that provides you the localization, positioning, navigation, and timing of your system. As we all are aware of the global positioning system, that is the GPS from the America. Same concept was adopted by different countries to launch their satellites in the space, and those are known as a global navigation satellite system, the constellations. If you see in this figure, there are different countries that have already launched their satellite system for these positioning navigation solutions. Number one is the GPS, which is all are aware of this. This is known as the Global Positioning System. This was owned and operated by the United States of America. Okay, then there's a GLONASS. GLONASS from the Russia, Beidou is from China, Galileo is from the Europe, and QZS is from Japan, and IRNSS from India. These systems are known as global navigation satellite systems. We will talk in the next videos about the different constellations, how many satellites are in the space, which satellites are going to be launched, which satellites provides which signals, what is the significance, what is the importance of different constellations, what are the orbits, clocks, and all these things. This is going to be a very big, lectures. So we are going to proceed and provide every detail about these constellations in our coming videos. But now we are going to talk about the very overview that, okay, what is the satellite and why do we need it and what is communication system, all those. Okay, these were the scientists that have already worked on the global positioning navigation systems in providing the segments, in launching the satellites and so on. In every satellite communication, we have three segments. One is a space segment. So from the name space segment, we can come to know that this is the something that we are talking about the space, like orbits, how many number of the satellites are in this space, and so on. Satellites transmits data, signals that has to be monitored by the control segments which is in the ground. Okay, like their location, their clock correction, their clock offsets, all these things, and it is controlled by the master control stations. And there are some different monitor stations in different locations. They receive signals and monitor the condition of the satellites and inform the master control stations and so on. User segments are those segments which use the satellite signals for the applications, for the localization, for the positioning and the navigations. So the user segments is like us, the receivers. For suppose if you are using a smartphone, you are user. If you are using a Google Map, you are user. If aeroplane, navigation, missile defense system, these are all the user segments. On the user segment, we face a lot of problems. We will be talking in the next coming videos what kind of the errors and the problems we face in the satellite communication systems. Okay, so this is very minor or very basic idea that what is visible satellites and how many visible satellites we need to find out the exact location of our user. Basically, initially, it is like four number of satellites are required to provide you the X, Y, and Z and the clock offset from Z. We will be talking this in the coming video lectures. Okay. So there is one concept. If number of satellites are increasing, then you can able to get higher accuracy. And that depends upon different conditions, several factors. Okay, so this is for all this video, and now we can continue in the next video about the different constellations, and we will talk about it in a very detail. See you soon.